Welcome to the Naked Peaches. I'm Anna.
I'm Taylor.
Let's catch up.
Yes, we have so much to catch up on.
I am a little irritated with daycare right now.
Yeah, I feel like your daycare is, I feel like they're scamming you.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I love our daycare people. I love the daycare. It's good. Things are good. But there's this policy that if your kid gets a fever, and I think it's like if the fever is over like 100.4 and they get sent home, then they can't come in the next day, which I get, right? And I'm like, yes, keep your kids home. Like, let's not all get fevers. Like, we're already all getting sick from each other anyway. Like, I'm down with that. However, every time my baby teethes, she gets a fever. And so it's like, she's not sick. It's not contagious. She's not passing it on, but she has a fever. And now I can't take her to daycare. And it's either this game of like, okay, well, maybe I can keep her home one day. And then the next day, hopefully it's gone and she can go and it'll be fine. Or I risk it and send her. And then they send her home and then she can't go the next day. And so on Monday, we took her to daycare. She had like a little bit of a fever, but it wasn't that high. And I was like, this is going to be fine. And usually we pick her up like from daycare, let's say like around like 4:30ish, depending on the day. And that day we came closer to like 5:10 or something. So it's like a little bit later than normal. And we got there and they're like, oh, she was feeling warm. And we like took her temperature. She has a fever. It's like, you can't bring her in tomorrow. They took her temperature 10 minutes before we picked her up.
I feel like at that point, they're just trying to find ways to have you not bring her in the
right?
next day. Like, that's so fucked
right?
up.
It's like, it's offensive. And so I was like, okay, like she stayed home. It was like fine. Like the fever that night actually like spiked a lot. And so it was like, whatever. The next day we were like, we won't take her. It's not a big deal. We couldn't anyway. But then like the day after that, I was like, okay, well, like she has the fever still a little bit. And it's like, I feel like if I even bring her in, like we have like a target on us. And so they're going to be like, no, you can't. Like, so it's like this morning we were getting some different readings. All of them were under the threshold, but they were very close to it. And I was like, I feel like it's like too risky.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this shit.
They're out to get you.
I agree.
Maybe Sophia's been acting up in daycare.
God, maybe.
And they're trying to
She's
get rid
like
of her.
a bad kid.
Yeah, yeah. You need to figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah, she's like stealing crayons or something from the other babies.
Yeah, punching them in the face.
Can you imagine?
No, she's like such a happy
Her little
baby.
fist, she's just like, bam.
I don't know. I mean, teething can probably make kids do crazy things.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's just like being crazy and I have no idea.
Yeah. I had no idea babies got fevers so regularly.
It's, I guess not all babies, but for her, it's like every single time she's teething. And she teethes hella often because she's getting all her teeth. So it's like, what am I supposed to do about this?
So it's like every time a tooth comes in, that's teething.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got like, how many teeth
a lot
do
of
you
teeth.
even have?
A lot of teeth.
God.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's awful. Thank you.
Well, I'm also struggling because I'm on my period right now.
I hate that for you.
And I just, like, having only been off of birth control for like 3 months, I think, every month it's now a new roller coaster. I feel like I'm going through puberty again because, like, I don't know my body and, like, what to expect when I'm on my period. And so, like, yesterday I canceled my pole class because I just could not imagine getting off the couch at 6 p.m. and like leaving to go to pole. And I was laying on the couch and I was like, am I just like a piece of shit? Like I literally said to Colin, I was like, am I a piece of shit or is this my period? Like I genuinely don't know. And I feel so lethargic and it makes me feel really crazy. And I like, when I really start to think about it, how we're all going through this once a month for our whole lives until we're like 50, it makes me really upset.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I hate that too.
Just being a woman.
They talk about these companies where it's like, if men had periods and were running companies, like there would be leave around periods.
I'm going to start taking leave the week of my period.
Like, I don't even think the whole week, but I think that there should be like a 1 to 2 day buffer on the first day or two.
Yeah.
Because like it can be really crazy those days.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you just need to lay on the couch.
I think we all need to get synced up. And then we can all be on the same cycle. And then we all just have like 2 extra vacation days every month. Where we all just, nobody works.
Yeah. We're all on our couches, we're eating chocolate. Nobody's talking to each other.
Yeah.
We're like watching.
Nothing is getting done. No emails are being answered.
We're just watching TikTok all day.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's what we need.
I mean, it'd be productive. We'd get a lot of TikTok ideas for the business.
We would.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll work on syncing.
Yeah. Okay. Should we introduce our guests?
I think we should. Posse, this is a scary episode for us.
We're fucking terrified.
We have our husbands on the pod today. Welcome, Gavin and Colin.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, this is the part where you guys say thank you for having us.
Thanks for inviting me. I love new experiences.
Thanks for having us. I feel blessed.
You should.
Thank you.
Do.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Gavin has requested this episode.
Yeah,
You've been wanting to
on the
tell your
pod.
truth for a while.
Numerous times.
Yeah.
All I want is an audience.
Thanks, Gavin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we sucked Colin in because of that. So sorry.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of questions from the Peach Posse that they've asked of you guys. But I mean, should we let them kind of like intro themselves first? Like, should we let Gavin speak his truth on why he wants to come on the pod so bad?
Yeah. Gavin, tell the posse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, what happens, and like, I know Taylor experiences this every time she sees me, because like, I have so many ideas that I pitch Anna on. And every time I see Taylor, like, I immediately am jumping into like pitching her my ideas, because Anna's not a trustworthy, like, person to pass through my ideas. Like, I feel like she blocks them and she just doesn't share some of my ideas. So like, I just wanted like an unfiltered place to like pitch some things and just kind of see how I can fit into the Naked Peach world and ecosystem.
Yeah, it's true. Every time I see Gavin, he is ready for a marketing meeting, and we are there to strategize. Okay, we talked about you sharing some of your Naked Peach pitch ideas, and then we can rate them. So why don't you share some of your top ideas with us?
Well, I mean, these are ideas I've like already kind of pitched you guys over the years. I mean, I think one, like, there can be more like male shoots, and you could go with like Boudoir.
Boudoir. So
Yes.
that's how you want us to brand it.
It's an idea. It's a starting point.
It's a starting point.
It's a thought.
It is a starting point. Yes.
It's not the only idea.
Male shoots we're down for. We love
Yes.
a male shoot.
Yeah. Boudoir.
Yeah, Boudoir,
I'm-
maybe not.
Yeah, I think I'm out on that one.
It's just like a first name. Like, we
Okay.
can spitball here. So that's one. I mean, I think we also live in a, pro-marijuana state. I think Boudoir shoots could also work.
Are all of your ideas puns?
Most.
He's got to
Okay.
have code names.
Yeah.
Like,
Boudoir I'm more down with than Boudoir.
Yes,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. Both are great though. You can mix these ideas too.
Wow.
They don't have to.
Boudoir.
What?
Bud Boudoir.
Yeah, exactly. Like, bros can be in weed fields too.
Yeah, totally.
It's-
Totally.
Bros love buds too.
I mean, I think like actually the legitimately best idea I had for you guys was a Christmas in July pitch that I pitched you guys last year of, how do you start pitching your Christmas themed shoots earlier in the year and start doing some like Christmas in July posts. That never happened.
We were gonna do it. We just got too busy.
Yeah.
I know.
July's
Anna said that
coming up,
people
though.
liked
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Do I have any other good ones? Outdoor was my other one. It's a very like Gorpcore is in right now. People love being outside. I think like just taking advantage of that and getting like what is user generated content, right? Like people sending in their
So you
outdoor
want people
pictures.
to take their outdoor boudoir and then send us their thirst
It could be a way of you guys engaging your community.
So posse, tag us in your outdoor this summer.
Yeah.
I think being a dad has tainted your brain a little bit. These are all kind of like parts to a dad joke or the start of a dad joke.
I wish becoming a dad had done this to me.
You've
But
always been
this
this
was
way.
always me. Yeah.
Okay, I also remember at one point you had a Valentine's Day idea where you wanted us to partner with a diamond company and have some sort of like rental where you could rent a diamond necklace for your boudoir shoot for Valentine's Day.
That was actually a great idea.
Yeah. I don't know if we have the clout to be renting diamond necklaces or the security, but I do like the idea.
Yeah, Kasab Jewelers, get it, you guys.
Well, maybe we can talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have a connect?
Yeah, do you want us to connect us?
With all my jewelry
Yeah, with all your
connections. Yeah.
That was lovely. Colin, I think you should do a little intro.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, kings, queens, and zines. I'm Colin. I'm Taylor's husband. And yeah, I mean,
That's
what
all
do you-
there is to know.
yeah, that's all I want to tell you. I don't know. Intro about me.
Yeah.
I do all like the Naked Peach handiwork.
You do.
So if you see a temporary wall in the studio, that was me. Lights that need to be changed, I don't know. I've done a lot of stuff
Yeah.
behind the scenes, so more of a behind the scenes kind of guy.
You
Yeah.
do, and we're very appreciative of all the handiwork. That chandelier being gone is truly
Life changing.
so wonderful. All my future photos are thanking you so much for
Yeah.
removing that.
I know. Every day I was like, Taylor, when are we gonna go do some more work down there? Like, I'm not doing anything Tuesday night at like 7:30 p.m. Like, let's go. Let's get down there.
He's always begging me. He's always like, which handyman jobs do you have at the
Yeah.
studio for me this week?
I believe it. Okay, I think we should go into some of the questions from the posse
Okay, let's do it.
they wrote in a lot.
Okay, so the very first one is, what do you guys think our toxic traits are?
Let's be careful with this answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor can come off as a bitch. I mean,
What?
the first time we met, like,
Oh no. Here we go.
we were playing flag. What is it?
Capture the
Capture the
flag.
flag.
Capture the flag, yeah. And, there's a lot of cheating in that game. People calling themselves out. I tagged Taylor because I was the jail keeper. I had like 15 people in jail. And I tagged her by lightly touching her on the back. And she flipped out and was like, "Don't touch me." Come to find out, she just was upset that she tried lying and didn't get away with it. And so she was now in jail. And
It's giving kindergarten recess playground.
So that's what happened. When I've talked to my friends, like before knowing Taylor, it was like people would be like, "Oh, like Taylor kind of gives me the cold shoulder a little bit." And, she was in a relationship for a long time. We met in AA and like everybody was young. So there's a lot like going on. So people gossiping and saying someone's a certain way, you could have had one interaction and someone's like, "Oh, like
True.
Taylor is this way." I saw you mature as well as me, throughout the years. And so I think we both grew up.
So you're saying I've grown out of my toxic trait?
Yeah, like that's not you do things to work on yourself. And I don't think that's the first thing that comes to your mind anymore. I mean,
So would you say I don't have a toxic
Yeah,
trait?
you have no toxic
Is that
traits,
what you're
Taylor?
saying?
What a sweet husband.
I mean, it is what it is. You can be in a bad mood sometimes, but it's not any worse than me being in a bad mood. So
No, it's not.
like I'll wake up and I'll just be like, "Don't look at me." And, like, you can tell. So I mean,
So
Wow.
you are not toxic at all. I love
No.
this for you.
Now, Anna, on the other hand, I actually think she nailed it pretty well in the episode the other week before Angie and Taylor gave her a pass and actually said that it was good emotional regulation to attack Gavin.
Okay, to be fair, that was Angie who said that, not me.
I think you agreed, or at least you didn't.
I enabled.
Yeah, like you weren't a voice of like dissent when that came up. I think you were supportive of that take. I think Anna, yeah, like she's a super, super warm person to people. And sometimes she can come home and kind of be a little bit meaner to me than she might to the outside world.
All the
which is-
warmth is gone at that
yeah,
point.
like we were having a conversation about it this weekend where Anna was, talking about how she's like truly a warm person. I was like, yeah, but like that surrounds a shell of ice underneath which is the true warmth. And I get access to that true warmth, but definitely there's like an ice shell in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of her toxic trait. And of course she's working on it, as we all do.
I do work on it.
Yeah. No, you do. And I appreciate that about you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're getting better at letting the rage out like around other people.
Thank
more.
you. Thank
There
you.
was I don't remember what it was, but she got upset about something the other day, and I was like proud of her for being.
Thank you.
Do you remember?
I don't. I
Oh.
literally don't remember what it was.
Was it daycare?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was something, but I was like, okay, she's letting the real Anna out in this moment, and I'm proud of her.
We love that.
Yeah.
See, so you're not the only one seeing
I
that.
got another toxic trait.
Oh
Okay.
no, wait,
Here
you,
it comes.
You already said
You
Taylor
had
had
your
no toxic
chance.
No,
traits.
that's good. That's good. I think that and you described it earlier where you were like, I came home, I wasn't feeling well, and I'm automatically a piece of shit. So I think your toxic trait is like, you're either doing good or you're the worst person in the world. And there's no in between for you. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
like,
it's true. It's true.
yeah. It's like you give yourself like no room for air a lot of times, and you're like, I forgot to, whatever. Not that you take out the trash. I forgot to take out the trash. I'm the biggest piece. You know what I mean? Like,
I would never say that. Taking out the trash is your job.
This reminds me of another toxic trait of Anna.
God.
Can this just be us riffing on you guys for the whole
Yeah,
episode?
yeah. I
The
mean,
roast of Taylor and
yeah.
Anna. Welcome.
So speaking of not like taking out the trash, Anna, like more than anybody I've ever met, loves recycling, wants to be as sustainable as possible, does not recycle. And what I mean is she does not take things from our home to recycling bins. That is solely me. It will be overflowing. Cabinet doors cannot close, and it will just keep going.
That's the job of a husband.
Apparently.
I do a lot of other things, okay?
For sure. But this is one of your toxic traits.
All right, fair.
Look, we don't believe in traditional gender roles here at Naked Peach, except when it comes to taking out the trash and recycling.
I will say, Taylor takes out the trash recycling at the studio all the time.
Don't tell him that.
So she knows how.
I went camping and she didn't take out the trash for like 3 days.
I also didn't make a lot of trash.
I came home and was like, oh, you left me the trash. Thanks.
She wanted to welcome you back.
I wanted you to know that I still needed you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we had a couple people asking questions kind of along these lines. Some people were asking if you guys ever get bothered by the fact that we post like sexy photos of ourselves, boudoir photos of ourselves online, and other people were saying that they have that issue with their partner where like their partner gets upset when they post sexy pictures of themselves, and wondering if you guys have any advice or like how you got over it. Can you enlighten the posse?
Go ahead. I went first last time.
Okay. Grow up is where I would start. Every once in a while, there will be a moment where I'll see a picture of Anna pop up on the Naked Peach feed where, for whatever reason, like I know what Anna does, but all of a sudden it like becomes this surreal thing where you're like, oh yeah, like Anna takes like boudoir pictures and like all the time in the studio. But it's not anything that like I feel any judgment over. It's just kind of like that thing of like, oh, I bet that there's a outside perception of like other people who we know that like see Anna and have like some thoughts about it, but I literally do not care. It just does not matter to me.
I love that. Supportive king. That's what we like to hear.
It's about the same for me. I think it's just all about the intention behind it. She gets a lot of joy out of posting pictures of herself and feeling good about herself, and that's very important to her. So my only concern really would be like, okay, if you post these, you could get attention that you're not necessarily wanting. Like that might just be a repercussion of you posting these photos, and like, are you prepared for that? Like, do you know what to say? And like, obviously from my point of view, it's like, well, I trust you, so I have no reason to be like, okay, don't post these or whatever until like you give me a reason. Not that would happen, but
Yeah, like if I started seeing Anna go like at Maluma, I would probably have like a problem with it.
Okay.
He's my hall pass, okay? It's fine.
Oh, you guys have hall passes?
We have hall passes, yeah.
Wow. We don't. I don't want to know your hall pass.
we already talked about it. You just forgot.
Really?
Yeah, yours
Don't tell her who it is. She doesn't.
No,
doesn't
now
wanna know.
remind me. Now I want to know.
yours is Chris Evans.
Is it?
Yeah,
Who's yours?
I forget.
Sure.
He doesn't have one.
Wait, what would you say to these women, though, who have partners who are, like, hung up on them posting those types of pictures? Like, do you have any advice for the gals out there?
It sounds like you need to have a conversation with your partner about communication and, like, trust. Like, maybe there's something that you don't trust about them that's unrelated that comes up when they're like, hey, I want to post these photos, or maybe you have seen them talk with other guys in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable that you didn't bring up. So that's what comes to my mind. Is just like there's something else unresolved, or there's some reason that you feel uncomfortable them just living their life.
So your advice for the guys?
Yeah. I mean, well, for the girls too, like
Yeah.
have a conversation, like explain why you want to post the photo. Like, what does the photo mean to you? Like, why is this being posted? And like, what's the point of it for you? What are you trying to get out of it? I guess
Yeah.
it's like a very blunt way of saying it, but
Okay.
share your emotions behind it.
Like, they might not understand that
No,
that makes you feel
a guy's
good.
not going to understand. There's
Okay.
no way.
Okay.
You have to, most guys, I feel like you'd have to tell us. And all we see is single guy flipping through Instagram, and we see a butt or a boob, and it's like, I'm
boob.
going to like that. It's a different world that we're in when we're like single, and and doing that, and our mindset is very different. That's just our perspective, I guess.
Yeah, they have different Explorer pages than
Yeah,
us. We know this.
I've seen your For You page.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's a scary place.
Yeah.
What advice do you have, Gavin?
Well, I think one of the things that I really appreciate about how Anne and I like generally kind of handle conflict is we're really good about talking about what bothers us and whether or not that's a me issue or a you issue. And I think like identifying those things in your relationship. And I think if your significant other is jealous, that is likely a them issue. And it doesn't mean that you can't approach that with empathy and try to understand, but it also might mean it's actually their thing to grow out of.
Wow, you guys are so wise.
Married us for a reason.
Yeah.
That's true.
I know the answer for this for Colin, but Gavin, have you ever wanted to do a shoot yourself, but are you too shy or embarrassed to try it?
No, no, I'm not too shy or embarrassed to try it. I figure at some point I've got to do one. If I've got a world-class photographer that I live with, why would I not?
Wow.
Colin, what about you? Are you doing a shoot?
Probably not in the near future. For me, in like being in like the business world, like I have a very different persona where like I'm always trying to be helpful. Like I'm being very professional with everybody. Like I'm trying to consider everyone's like feelings in there. And really for me, it's like, okay, well, if I want to present myself in this way as like a good worker and all that, a boudoir is, you know, I'm sure I could relate to a lot of people if I posted like, oh, he's really strong and all that type of stuff. But I don't like to,
He's jacked.
yeah, I don't like to conflict, you know, those kind of two worlds where,
Yeah.
like this is what I do in my personal life on my own time. Like if I have a conversation with somebody at work, like off the clock, it's much different than like on the clock. Cause like I'm there to work. I'm there to like be as helpful as I can. But then like off the clock, like if you want to talk about anime weeb shit, like I'm going to talk to you about that.
What if they didn't get posted?
I mean, if it was just for Taylor, like, yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah. But like
Or what if it was just anonymous photos only that were shared?
no, I have a pretty distinct,
But
You think you're
Everything.
that recognizable?
Yeah, I'm
They're gonna
pretty
be like, that's his
recognizable.
bicep.
yeah.
if you ever see an anonymous bicep on the feed, it's Colin.
It's not Colin. No one will ever know.
Why? Why are guys so obsessed with buttholes?
This is a great question.
I'm not.
I
Yeah.
think this is a question for you, Colin.
That's your answer. I'm not. Okay, cool. No, I don't think it's the butthole per se, like the specific
Not the hole.
whole area. I don't know what you call it, orifice, that area.
It's an orifice.
Yeah. I mean, that's not such a big deal. I think it's a lot of it is like doing something you're not supposed to. And that could relate to other things, not just like buttholes. But yeah, no, I definitely noticed Taylor's butt before her butthole.
I would hope
Because that's
so.
how it works. But yeah, the butthole could be whatever, and you know, as long as the butt's nice, then we're good.
Okay.
There's not a lot of
Okay.
variation with the hole, you know what I
There's
mean?
not. Do all buttholes look the same?
Like pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine, right? Like,
Yeah. Wait, this reminds me of something. When you listened to our like very first episode, I remember you being like, "Look, we need to clear something up. Like, you do not have a big vagina, and I bet your friends don't either." And you were telling me that like we needed to calm down about that. Can you address that?
Yeah. I don't, you know, probably because you haven't been with a lot of women. Not saying that I have, but I probably have been with more, which is more than 0.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're all shapes and sizes, and it's almost like a belly button. There's innies, there's outies, like there's all sorts of things. And it just sounds like when you were talking about it, you were talking about it like you had the biggest vagina in the world and it was the most disgusting thing in the world. And from experience, that is not true.
Do you feel like in general, like women should probably worry less about it because nobody like really cares?
Guys don't care.
Yeah,
But I
has
agree.
you ever seen a vagina and
Been
been
like,
like,
oh,
oh, it's weird looking?
never mind. I don't want to go in there. It looks weird.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you get that far, like, we're not turning back. We've already committed.
Well, there's a question just for you, Colin.
Wonderful.
So it's, what has stopped you from upgrading your wife to the rechargeable magic wand?
It's a great question.
I don't know. She hasn't wanted to use it really recently.
Have you guys not been magic wanding?
I feel like we magic wand pretty
Last 6
regularly.
months?
Definitely in the last 6 months.
How many times?
Why is that extension cord next to our bed if we haven't been using
No,
it?
but it's been like twice.
No way, dude.
He's thinking about the vagina. He's not thinking about the magic wand.
Yeah.
He doesn't even notice when it's
Yeah,
there.
he has laser vision on the butthole.
Okay, well, we'll discuss later. Okay, I feel like this is a question for Gavin,
Yeah.
our fashionista. What are your fashion no's?
Not having taste is a fashion no. Okay, so I do think, and let me narrow this down to like people that actually care, because like if somebody doesn't care, then like nothing matters. But like if you actually care, I think not dressing for your body is a bad thing, and I think that that's like a journey for us all. But I mean, I think especially, at least speaking for like guys' clothing, there's a lot you can do to make yourself look like you have broader shoulders or you're skinny. But like everyone wearing skinny fit jeans ain't it. And it never was, right? Like they're just kind of different fits for different body styles. And I think going through that process and learning it is really important. Also, like logo shit looks awful. Like if you're above 25 wearing like a Balenciaga tee, you're embarrassing yourself. No, like 100%. It's just embarrassing for you and everyone that is around you.
You need to have like the hidden logos.
Yeah, well, I think it's just at that point you should have like the taste that you're choosing things that really speak and say something about your style, what you want to say in the world. And if all you want to say in the world is I have a $400 t-shirt, you're not that interesting.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take.
I stand by it. At me.
Wait, okay. For jeans that are not skinny for guys, what are your store recommendations, like brand recommendations?
I think, and you've got to be willing to spend a little bit, but I think in Portland, and they have online stores, and they're also in New York, Self Edge is a great place to go. They've got lots of different fits. The people have like an encyclopedic knowledge about denim. So you can really go there and they will help you find something that will kind of fit your body type. They'll have recommendations. And it's stuff where even for me, like, you know, they're putting me in different sizes than like I've typically worn. They're kind of introducing me to different cuts. And like that's actually been really helpful for me and like helpful in my kind of learning process.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll fully tailor the pants to you.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I just go with Gavin when he goes, but I'm really like intrigued by everything they do in there.
Yeah,
It's
this
really
sounds cool.
impressive.
We should go there for jeans for you.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of my journey, so haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm short and thick, and Gavin is tall and skinnier.
Well, one thing, like, you should definitely go. Because one thing
Yeah.
with Gavin is, and I have this too, so I'm like, I feel like Sophia's, like, really, it's going to be interesting to see. But, like, we have very large calves for our, like, proportions, I swear to God. And so it's like, we will sometimes, like, have pants that, like, we're wearing, and the pants fit us, but they're, like, really tight on our calves. And they help with that. So, anyway, being short and thick, I feel like they can help you.
I'm sure they have pants for thick boys there.
Like some Nordstrom brands that have like a little bit of stretch to them is helpful for me with the thicker thighs. And then just like Wranglers that you get tailored, you know, just
Yeah.
regular, even the canvas Wranglers is like what I typically wear. That's like comfortable, doesn't look like shit in my opinion. But yeah, I'm like still searching for that right place or that right jean that just, you know, fits right. So
I like the Wranglers a lot, personally.
Wranglers are classics, and Levi's too. Like I think
Yeah.
a lot of times people like always like go to this place of I have to buy the $400 version of a thing, and you don't always like. And Levi's and Wranglers are classics for a reason.
So true. I love Levi's. I have so many pairs of Levi's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Levi's are my fave.
Yeah.
I love them. But also, what you were saying about tailoring, more people need to just tailor their clothes in
Yes.
general. Everyone should be tailoring their clothes.
You should have a good relationship with your tailor.
Yes.
Yes.
That is that is a fashion do.
You go to the place where I used to go, and you have a good relationship with them, right?
I do have a good relationship with them, and I remember you not having a great experience with them.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Anna about that later. The people who run it are like an immigrant family.
Yeah.
And I have found through my experience with Anna's family and like other immigrant families that I think a lot of times they can be not very sensitive about the kind of feedback that they give.
Yeah,
in
I
those
think it's
situations.
like a communication cultural difference.
100%.
For sure.
Like when I go back, because like for part of work, I'll go back to India every once in a while, and they are like very immediately telling you if they think you gained kilos or not. And it's like, I don't know these people. Like I work with them, but
Yeah.
it's not something that like I would ever say to somebody I work with.
Yeah.
But it is like I am told immediately when I come. So I think that there's just like some cultural things
Yeah.
that like play into it, but like that's still a shitty experience.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
It's not my fave.
We got a lot of questions like this. What do you love most about your wives, and why is it everything?
Tell us.
Who wrote that?
Probably one of our best friends.
Yeah.
So thank you, best friends.
Can you repeat the
That's
question?
a real question.
Can you repeat the question? Is that
What
a
do
real
you
question?
love most about us?
You said everything.
Yeah.
And why is it everything?
Why is it everything?
Yeah.
The fact that you guys aren't saying things right now, I'm like,
concerning.
what's going
It's
on?
just,
I was
it's
waiting
just
for you to go
such
first.
it's such a curveball where it's just like,
It's fine. We can move
Well,
on.
I mean, I can at least answer on my side. So, like, Ann and I got together and have been together for
It's been a long
13
time.
years now.
Wow.
Like,
Oh.
dating or hooking
Hooking up.
Yeah.
It was a long hookup period.
Yeah, it was a very long hookup period. I think when you're that young and then to, like, be kind of, you know, our age where we're no longer we're not in our 20s anymore. But, like, us growing, and growing together and maturing and, like, still having that relationship be there. And, like, that's such a cool thing to me. And, like, I love being with somebody that is constantly growing, and, like, who we were 5 years ago is not who we are today. And I hope that, like, continues to be true.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's, you know, just every day, you know, seeing how hard Taylor works on everything. And she can't always get to everything, but when she was working at, like, her other jobs or whatever, I was like, oh, these people are just, like, so lucky to have her, because she'll just jump in, she'll help out, she'll do whatever she can. And, like, you saw the benefit of that. Like, you moved up in companies, you started your own company, you started your own business, you've done all these things. And so it's like, oh, like, if I could at least, like, do a little bit of that, like, I might also be successful. So it's like more of like, you're inspirational to, like, look up to and be like, oh, like, if I can just get my lazy ass off the couch and like put in like half the amount of work, I could be successful too. So
Oh,
That's
that's really
really
sweet.
And we are really lucky to have you, and I love working with you.
Oh, guys. Well, we're really lucky to have you too.
Thanks, Queen. Thanks, Queen. We're like, let's talk about more of these.
Yeah.
There's way more questions that are the same question. Just keep saying things you love about us.
Oh, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about being a boudoir husband?
my favorite and least favorite thing, I would say probably my favorite thing is knowing that, like, you're doing something that you like to do. You've worked at past jobs and you've made money, and you've come home and just be like, ugh, I'm stressed out about this customer who is upset about their marketing deck. And, like, in my head, I'm like, who cares? Like, they'll be fine. Like, they're going to be okay or whatever. But, you know, you take things very personally. And when it comes to work, it's like you want to be putting your best foot forward and doing all those things. So that would probably be my favorite thing. And least favorite thing, you just work all the time. I mean, it's like a lot of the same.
Yeah.
I always tell you, like, oh, you never work a day in your life or whatever when you're doing what you love. And I butchered that saying or whatever, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like you never work a day in your life, but you're
Right, just
always working
always-
24/7.
You're always
Just
working.
always
Yeah.
working. So now, like, on the weekend, I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? And it could literally be working the entire time or, like, nothing. And then
Yeah.
so I have to ask a lot of times.
So it's like no matter what the job is, I'm always going to be working too much. At least it's like something that
You love.
we love.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I'll just like say ditto because like Anna's like the same beast, I think, in terms of she feels so fulfilled doing what she's doing, but she's doing 60-hour, 70-hour work weeks. However, she's going to do 60 or 70-hour work weeks no matter what she does. It's psychotic.
It's pathological.
The editing never ends, you know? It's just, there's always butts to be edited.
Yeah.
So tell us your most cringy dating or sex story.
I'll start. It's actually...
Is it with Anna?
It is with Anna. So, and I told Anna if this question came up, this was the story I was going to tell. This was like probably like fairly early in our relationship. And Anna was giving me a blowjob. And she like started reaching up with her hand and like kind of like trying to finger my mouth. And it was like pretty weird to me. And so I was just like, okay, like whatever.
You just went
I'll
with
go
it.
with it, right? And so we finish, and I'm like, Anna, like, I don't know what you're going for there. I'm not into that. Can we not do that again? And then Anna like turns around and is like, I thought that you wanted that.
I thought he was like, I don't know. I think I was like going, I think I maybe was like trying to touch his nipple or something.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, like, I don't know if I can't remember what was happening, but like, it's like he had his hand on my hand and I thought that he was like bringing it to his mouth. And he wasn't, but I didn't know that. And it's like, I'm busy, like I'm giving a blowjob. So it's like, I can't really like communicate like, hey, is this what you're like asking for? So yeah, I just like shot my fingers in his mouth. I thought he was into it.
I'm a vibes guy. Like, I'm just going to go with kind of whatever's happening, and then we'll talk about it later. But I think it's the importance of talking about it later, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're on the same page now. She's never fingered my mouth again. So we're all good.
That was a good one. Okay, Colin, what about you?
Cringiest. I was dating a girl and I was living at home and my brother had moved back in. He finished college or something like that. And this girl would do a very loud moan.
Can you show us?
Oh yeah, totally. But the moan was more like a, not cry, but just like kind of over the top.
Like a porn moan?
Yeah, it was like, and that's the whole, for 98% of the time.
Oh my God.
And at the time, I'm like 20 something and she's 20 something and like, oh yeah, like I'm the man, or like I don't care how it seems, like I'm putting in work. And my brother would complain about it and he would be like, can you shut her up? Like, it's only now thinking about it, like 15 years later, I'm just like, I was such a loser, like such a dork. I was just like, I don't give a fuck about my brother, like I don't care about anything, like you're just gonna have to deal with it. You moved back home. I was like, I like took his room too because he moved out. He was like, I feel bad for him. He was like, he's in the smaller room. He's like trying to sleep, and he's just hearing this like
Fake
just
moans.
loud. Yeah, I'm almost sure it was fake.
They
now.
were fake.
They were
No,
fake, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe a couple of them were real,
Yeah.
but if she's doing that 95% of the time, there's no.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole world of different noises people make, so I don't want to leave it out. Like, maybe it really made her do that, but I highly doubt it.
Wow.
Those are really good stories.
That was a new to me story.
Do you have a cringy story that you want to share?
I mean, I feel like I've told so many of
I
them
know.
on this
We've told a lot of
podcast.
our
Like the
stories.
poop flying in the air.
was-
Like,
Truly my favorite.
that is probably the worst one.
Going to Seattle and not going poop for 3 days.
I mean, that's
and
not a
just,
sex story. That's
Yeah.
just a great
But
it's just,
story.
well, no, you held it in and you're like, I really want to have sex, but I haven't pooped in like 3 days, and now my stomach hurts, and we're in Seattle, and we're just like sitting in the hotel room for a few hours, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool.
Well, I was holding in, I wouldn't go poop, and I was also holding in my farts because it was like our first weekend trip away, and I was like, I can't fart around this man. Like, I need him to fall in love with me. And look at us now. It worked.
Yeah.
You really forced the love.
Yeah.
Just made it happen, no matter the stakes.
What about you, Anne? I mean, I guess you and Gavin, that was a shared
It
story.
was a short story. Yeah. Okay, what are your icks
What's
I think
an
there's
ick?
supposed to be icks about us. Like something.
that we do?
Okay, the example that Anji gave when we were talking about icks today was like someone running to catch a ping pong ball that fell on the table.
Like how they ran for it, or just
like,
running.
it's just
period?
embarrassing
Just
that you're
embarrassing.
doing that in general.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we can share our icks about you guys
Yeah,
to
sure.
get it started.
Yeah.
So you guys are fully loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
In case we say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retaliation's ready.
Okay, my ick is that the dishwasher will be empty. There's dirty dishes in there. There's room for other dishes, and then Gavin will take his bowl and put it in the sink.
Okay, that's my ick also.
Or it'll be a pan that doesn't need to be like soaked. It could just go straight in the dishwasher or just be like clean, and he'll soak it because then he doesn't have to clean it and put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. I mean, I've seen it happen, so.
But it's more icky when you do it.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
My ick is how you load the dishwasher.
My ick is
It's-
how you load the dishwasher. So
It is.
we will-
You already said your ick. You don't get 2 icks.
You get unlimited icks.
Yeah.
It's the least efficient dishwasher loading I've ever seen. It's like a full bowl just like taking up the entire like bottom. It's just amazing every time I see it. And then she also does silverware pointing up,
Yeah.
which is, it's a little bit controversial. I think it's kind of gross because like you grab that with your hands, and not everybody washes their hands before they unload the dishwasher, and so you're really just dirtying.
Everybody
clean
should be
silverware.
washing their hands before they unload. Everyone should be washing their
I
hands
have
at all
never
times, all
once
day long.
seen you wash your hands before unloading the dishwasher.
I wash my hands all the time.
Well, that is the counterpoint. You do.
Like I'll get into the
Obsessively,
kitchen and just
compulsively,
immediately wash my
some might
hands
say.
and then start doing whatever I need to do in the kitchen.
Okay, but the reason you have to load them facing up is so that the food drains off the part that you eat off
Yeah,
of.
and they get cleaner.
The food's gonna drain. Which way do you think water goes?
But just to be sure, there might be some in the reservoir at the bottom of the thing that holds the
Yeah.
utensils.
Any extra food will be on the handle instead of the end of it.
Yeah. What if it's the spoon that you use
Do
to
you
put
not
cat
rinse
food?
before you put things in
No,
the
I
dishwasher?
do. We
Okay.
scrub everything.
You're not supposed to.
I've heard some people say
Yeah.
that, but it doesn't really work.
The claim is that the detergent has nothing to stick to if you don't have some type of food on your dishes, and so then the detergent just sticks to your dishes, and that's why they can come out a little like squeaky feeling or greasy feeling almost from the detergent, and also like the jet dry stuff causes cancer. So
I don't
Wait,
use-
really?
I
just
don't use
telling
that.
people.
Did you just see that on TikTok?
No, that's like a thing. It's like
I'm
class
sure it
action
does.
lawsuit now coming out. You know,
That's really scary.
Do you use it?
I mean, we have used it, right?
We don't
The
use it.
shine stuff.
yeah, we don't really use it anymore. I mean, it's just
I
like
mean,
everything.
we're all gonna get
Everything.
cancer.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's like everything. It's like over time, over 20
Yeah.
years of using jet dry and like.
I'm sure
you know,
this is better for me than
using
jet
an
dry.
inefficient dishwasher. I don't know. Don't quote me.
You will be quoted because you're.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the pod.
Anyways,
what other icks do you
My
have?
ick, because Taylor knows that I'm a younger brother and I have an older brother, and she's an older sister and has a younger brother. She'll want something from me, and if I say no, she'll be like, "Don't be a little brother about it." And it's like the most like I'll go up to get myself something or whatever, and come back, and she's like, "Give me some of that." And I'm like, "No, get your own. It's like 5 feet away." She's
That
like,
is little brother
she'll
energy.
be like, "Quit being a little brother," and it's just like, no, like you can get a blanket yourself. Like you don't need this blanket. There's a blanket up here. So it's like this whole thing about like I'm being a little brother. It's like, no, you just want what you want. Like you're just being selfish. So.
No, the specific incident he's talking about, he was laying on top of the blanket on the couch. And I was like, I need some blanket. And he was like, I'm using this one.
Because our couch is a little bit cool.
Because it's leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a blanket on top of the couch right to her right.
That's
So,
Gosha's blanket.
I'm just saying, you were like, you're not using it. I'm like, yes, I am. You're like, quit being a little brother. And I'm like, you can't just say that as a catch-all. Just be like, I want something. You're being a little brother. And I'm going to get it. Like, that's...
There is a part of you that has little brother energy.
Yeah, but obviously, like, being a semi-adult, like, I try not to do those things that I was doing, you know, for so long.
Yeah.
I like that you call yourself a semi-adult. I'm gonna start calling myself that sometimes if I'm not
Yeah.
feeling my best.
You guys are parents, so you're more adults
That's
than
an
us.
okay. You're bringing up more icks. I'll just keep going. People that say like I'm adulting or I'm such an adult drive me fucking crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, what are other icks you have? They don't have to be about
Yeah,
us.
they
You
don't have
guys,
to be about us.
stop insulting us. What
Yeah.
are other icks you
Stop
have?
roasting us.
Yeah.
I mean, I already talked about the logo tees.
Yeah.
Like, that drives me insane.
Oh, I have an ick. When people are on an airplane, they take their shoes off and then they touch their bare socks to the floor of the airplane.
I do that.
No, Colin,
It feels so good.
The germs?
Extending your feet
No.
out. No shoes.
Do you walk to the bathroom with?
Oh
I-
no.
Ew, that's
No.
disgusting.
I saw that.
No.
I sent Anna a text from like above the Arctic about this because I saw somebody on the flight walk into the bathroom with just socks.
That's not
That's
okay.
so-
You need to
gross.
burn your socks.
So gross.
You need to like at that point take those socks off, throw them away. Like you put your bare feet into the shoe. Like never. If you put that sock in the shoe, that shoe needs to be burned as
That's
well.
disgusting. You need to soak your feet in bleach after
Yeah.
that.
I also bring a departing and arrival outfit that are completely different. If that gives you any.
Yes. No, I love that. Yeah, I'm here for that because the plane is disgusting.
Yeah.
and
like
then
those
you don't
clothes
want...
are dirty.
Yeah, they're tainted. Usually, I wear the same outfit on departure and arrival because it's like it's just for that, and then it needs to be put in the wash
That's
immediately.
smart. Yeah. Okay, funny story about one time when we were flying. Colin always wears sweatsuits on the plane. And when we flew to Antigua, where we got engaged, Colin was wearing a camo sweatsuit. And it wasn't like green. It wasn't army green. It was like yellow and brown. And
It was a desert camo.
desert camo. It was like a Nike sweatsuit.
Yes.
And they stopped us when we were like going through customs, and they like asked him if he was military, and it was like these kind of like big like security looking guys, and
They weren't that big.
I remember it being kind of intimidating. And they made him go change. Like he couldn't like leave the airport in camo because yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm not military.
Yeah.
So they're tracking any military personnel that comes into Antigua.
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
like you know how military people will wear their military outfits
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
After that happened, I was like, I wonder if you're just like you're not supposed to wear camo in other countries, like unless you're actually in the military. I don't know,
I don't know. I've never. Weird.
but just
No
beware.
idea.
Don't wear your camo sweatsuit on a plane.
Okay.
What about people that are stopped at a stop sign and they wait for you to pull up and stop before they move?
I fucking hate that. That shit. That's my ick.
Wait,
explain
walk
that
me
one more
through
time.
that again.
So there's a four-way stop.
Yes.
There's someone stopped. You know, they're going to turn into your lane. You're pulling up. They're still staying there until you come to a complete stop before they move.
Oh no.
oh yeah, no.
It's like
That's
just
annoying.
fucking go. Like trust that I'm gonna stop because there's a stop sign there.
People
I'm-
need to be more aggressive drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
I'm very much for like the California stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just
yes.
kind of roll through if you can. I mean, safely.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
I remember growing up in Oregon, people would talk about how California drivers were so terrible. And then, like, the first time we were in LA with, like, our own car to drive, we were like, this is so much better. Like, people know how to drive here,
Yeah.
it seems like.
They're
My-
all just aggressive, and
Yeah.
so you know what to expect.
exactly. That's the thing is like if you know that everyone's going to be aggressive, you're just going with the flow there,
Yeah.
right? Like whereas here I feel like some people are aggressive, some people like are as conservative as you can possibly be, and you never know like who it's gonna be, and so it's just impossible to anticipate what other drivers are doing.
And people get pissed at you here when you are aggressive at all. So,
Yes.
like,
Oh, yeah.
when you merge and you have to speed up a little bit to do it, like, people will honk at you. Like, people get so upset about those things here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They take
That's
it
an ick.
personal.
Yeah.
Well, when we were like living in Palm Springs for a while, and we just got very used to driving with the way the other drivers, like down there especially, it was wild because yellow lights there are a green light. Like,
Yeah.
it is not, like, the beginning of the red is the yellow light for them, and it was, like, at first it was terrifying, but then after a while, like, I just became that person, and I was, like, I think it was, like, towards the very end of our time there, my mom came to visit for a couple of days, and we were driving around together, and she was just, like, freaking out in the car with me, but I was like, no, Mom, it's, like, everyone's doing, like, if I literally stop right now, the car behind me will rear end me because they think this is a green. Like, I cannot stop the car.
Okay. Do you guys have any other icks?
Oregon roads. I mean, we could just keep going on. I think.
Just complaining
Yeah,
about the
just-
state we live in.
This is too much of a softball for me.
Okay. So the next one is, what is the biggest turn on for you from your wife? And what would you suggest for ladies wanting to spice things up for their husbands?
I think. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, for me, like, can't speak for every man, but like, get slutty. That's my answer. Like, when Anna is like really into it, like, I feed off of that energy, and I'm really into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, bringing that energy into, your intimate moments is like really helpful, right? Like, it doesn't, because I think like sometimes, especially if you've like been together for a while, it can like sometimes be awkward to initiate. And so if you kind of take over that for your partner, I think it kind of just makes it easier for everyone, and everyone's like even more into it, and it just kind of that enough, like, that is spicy enough.
Yeah. Like enthusiasm, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And slutty outfits.
Yes. Yeah.
Gavin loves a short skirt.
Okay, Colin, I feel like your answer is going to be the same.
Yeah. How did like? I think I would agree, and same. But the second part of the question was like, what can they do to spice it up? I think, again, like, talking to your partner like beforehand, because otherwise you're just guessing. It's like.
And you might end up with your fingers in his mouth when he doesn't like that.
You could end up in a furry suit, and the other person's like, what are you wearing? Like, this is not what I meant by spicing things up. Like, this is just not my thing. You could just catch somebody off guard if you don't talk about it or, discuss it beforehand. So I think, like, when you ask me, like, what I want to see, or, like, can you show me something that you've seen that you want to do, or an outfit that you like, or blah, 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 because guys consume content and see all sorts of things. And I think it's...
Oh, we know.
I think well, like, I mean, it's I feel like it could go both ways, where, like, I could consume content and be like, oh, I'm really into this with, like, this girl, and you'll never give this to me. Or it could be like, oh, I saw this thing, and, like, I want you to wear it. Or, like, I think it'd be really cool if, like, we try this. And, like, sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes, like, you're like, oh, I have this, like, thing, this outfit in mind, in my head that I want you to wear. And then we do it, and I'm like, okay, I think I got it out of my system. Like, I don't think we need to do that one again. Like, the straps were weird, or, like, it didn't hold up right, or whatever. Or maybe it was just a crappy outfit from, Shein or something.
I feel like the thing that you did that was helpful for me was he also loves outfits. And we were talking about it, and I was like, give me some inspiration for the outfits you like, because I would show him lingerie, and he'd be like, it's fine, but, like, I could tell it wasn't, like, really doing it for him. And because I'm looking at things that are, like, lacy and, like, have, like, flowers and hearts on them, and, like, that's what I like. And he's like,
Great.
he's like, okay, I'm gonna make you, like, a mood board. And he, like, screenshotted these different outfits that he liked and sent them to me. And I was like, it was so far from, like, what I would have ever picked for myself, but it gave me direction of, like, okay, like, he's looking for fishnets, strappy, like, these sort of, like, totally different type of outfits. And I don't know, I feel like if you are trying to spice things up for your partner, you should ask them to do that for you, because it might help you feel more confident when you put on an outfit knowing that they're gonna like it.
You told me about it
Yeah.
after that had happened, and I think that's, like, an amazing idea. Most people should be doing that.
Yeah, we love a mood board.
Yeah, mood boards are great. And just, like, communicate often, because it's, like, I mean, we've all been together for a long time in our, like, relationships, and so it's, like, you need to be, like, constantly talking about your sex life, basically,
Yeah.
with your partner if you want to, like, keep your sex life good.
Yeah. I feel like whoever's asking this question, like, ask your partner what they want you to do. Like, I feel like I love just asking that all the time.
Yeah.
Being like, what do you want to see more of? What do you, like, I feel like that's the best way to find out how to spice it up.
Yeah.
Or
And
be
do
like,
a boudoir shoot.
I want to do this thing. Like, what do you think about this? Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's harder.
Because being like, what do you want? It's like, it's a little bit it can feel a
Too
little
open-ended.
accusatory where it's just like, well, everything's fine, but it's like, you know, are you kind of into it? I don't want to like force you into an outfit that like you hate and
Yeah.
like you don't enjoy it.
I feel like that's hard though. For me, it's hard for me to be like, this is what I want. And like, I don't know if that's like,
I
mean,
feel like
he
it's
said
easier
it.
for guys to say what they want than girls sometimes, or at least in my experience,
Yeah.
like with friends that I've talked to and things like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we have conversations too about like things that we want, it's like I can ask you and you can be like, "Oh, here you go," and you like. It's like a 5-paragraph essay that you're like giving me of like no, I know, but I just mean like you can talk
Here's
about
my
it really
introduction,
openly.
my 3 points, conclusion.
But it's like you seem to know a lot of things, and then sometimes like you ask me and I'm like like I don't know, and maybe because it's like I'm not consuming that kind of content often, so maybe that's why it's harder for me to like talk about it, you know?
I think that's part of it. And also I feel like I've noticed that I feel like I have more shame around like sex than you do. Colin.
Yeah, and that's where I was gonna go. Like I was like, he said it, you know, be more slutty, be more confident. I think is kind of like the root feeling there, because it's like you have been together for so many years. Like if we were just dating and I was like, I want you to, you know, be more confident or whatever. Like I get it, we don't really know each other, but like at this point, like we're not really going anywhere anytime soon. So like, what do you have to lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. Probably not much.
Yeah, it's like you just have to get out of your own head.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, you know, you're like, I want to stomp on your balls, and like that's not something I'm into. Like that could hurt, and also like kind of take things down a path that would be hard to come
Journey
back.
you don't want to go on.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I did say that, you probably wouldn't be like, oh my God, she's a freak. You'd just be like, no, I don't want to, and move on. Like you wouldn't think much of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, I would be curious. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah,
like,
I would.
Most people don't do that, so it's like, why do you like this? Is there something else that causes less pain physically to me that we can start with, or you know, try to be as open-minded as possible.
It would spur a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't just drop that.
You don't get to just move on.
You want to do CBT? No. Okay. Never bring it up ever again.
What's CBT?
Cock and ball torture.
Oh, my mind immediately went to cognitive behavioral therapy.
That too.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Okay, so like, and I was kind of bringing this up to Anna, I think like the other week, but you guys have been interviewing, I think, a lot of like interesting people who have like non-vanilla sex lives.
Yeah.
You guys both like self-identify as like vanilla. Has having these conversations made you, either of you, feel like more adventurous or wanting to be more exploratory? Or has it kind of been validating in the, hey, I'm in my comfort zone and that's fine?
I feel like it's made me more like want to be more adventurous and like I think feel less embarrassed about, I don't know, like I mean we did the BDSM test and like I got that like the submissive thing was like the first thing on the list, and I feel like it's like having these conversations and like, you know, talking to Coyote who's just like so open about like being in like the kink world and doing rope, like it made me feel like, okay, I can like lean into this a little bit more and it's not like embarrassing, like everybody has their thing, you know? So, I mean, would you agree?
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a
What about
little
you?
bit though.
Just a little bit.
It's not like I want to be clear, like it's not like a switch flipped and you're like all of a sudden into these like many things. I think it probably takes you and maybe other women like longer to kind of get there, or to like really change things that's like so personal to each person in each relationship.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say that it's like, I guess it has solidified me that I'm a pretty like vanilla person. I think just relative to other stories I hear on this podcast. But I will agree with what you were saying, where I do feel like there are things where now I'm like, okay, there's certain things that I think are still very like vanilla, but it's like I should be less like embarrassed to try them, or like have more fun with it, or be more exploratory in that way almost. Because like when we did our like dance lesson with Kristen, like that was very out of my comfort zone in the sense it's like I've never done like anything like that before, but I like got excited doing it, and I'm like, okay, like I have yet to do my performance at home, but I'm like, you know, I can practice, and then like, you know, maybe one day I can like turn it into something and like add that on, and it's like nothing I would have necessarily thought of myself before, but now I'm like, oh, like that could be really fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The one time you don't bring work home.
Kevin's like, more of that work in the house,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Like,
I still haven't done mine either.
Yeah.
I want to feel really confident when I do it. Like, I
Same.
want to feel like I'm not going to, like, be embarrassed of myself or, like, start laughing at myself. Like, I want to feel like, okay, I really feel good about this.
Yeah.
So,
I just need
like,
to practice
working up
more.
to it. Yeah.
I think maybe we should rent like a dance studio to like just practice more.
I feel like we could practice at the studio.
We probably could, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, wait for Mercury to get out of retrograde. Like, sit on it for a few years. You know, you have plenty of time. Like,
And Gavin's over here like, just please practice in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, please, please.
But I will say, like, if I flip that around and imagine doing the same thing and like doing a performance, if like I feel that like viscerally even thinking about it, like that feels like scary and intimidating to do, even though like we've been together for a long time, and so like I can see why that would feel
It's
weird.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Magic Mike, the new one, with one of my friends the other night. Terrible fucking movie. But we were like, can you imagine like one of our husbands like doing these like lap dances that like Channing Tatum is doing? And we both were like, they would never stop laughing. Like, I just feel like it's like it, especially for men, doing something like that is so far out of like the comfort zone. I don't know. Would you ever give
I
me a
could
lap
do it.
dance?
I could do it.
Colin's
Okay.
gonna start learning the Magic Mike
Yeah.
choreography.
Yeah.
I can't dance,
That's the thing, is like
but like,
You gotta learn.
you have
Yeah.
to learn to give a lap dance.
yeah, if I knew some moves, like you would just sit there and enjoy it. And, like, you would be forced to. So
Can I teach you some moves?
yeah, sure. If you want me to do moves on you, like
Okay, we're gonna do a lap dance lesson
Yeah,
after
Taylor,
this.
teach you the body roll.
Yeah. I taught Anna, so I feel like
Yeah.
I can teach you.
You'll probably do better than me.
I
You
don't
did
know
great.
about that.
It was pretty bad, but
I feel like you
I'm
guys
learning.
would be about
We're about the same.
same level.
But I feel like for guys, it's like a lot of the moves are more strength based. It seems like
Yeah.
in Magic Mike and stuff. So
It's just a lot of thrusting.
yeah.
A lot of aggressive thrusting.
See, so that's not really dancing. You could do that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. I can't do a handstand, but
You can't?
yet.
not
Yeah.
yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can do like a tripod where my head's on the ground to balance myself.
You could do that.
I
Yeah.
don't know how sexy that is. Like,
You have to do that, and then you put your legs on the
Yeah,
chair
just-
while she's sitting
just
on the
in
chair.
literally
Yeah.
sitting in front of you doing it. Check
You-
it out.
No, you do it like a wheelbarrow, and then
Yeah.
you hip thrust while you're doing it.
Yeah, on her.
Like your legs back here, like
Uh-huh.
around my waist.
Yeah.
Your face down like this, and then you're hip thrusting, like
I
a
could-
stripper would do.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Like a stripper would do.
Yeah. Because I go to so many male strip clubs and view that content. For sure.
All strippers do that move.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Well, I've only been to like 2 strip clubs in my life, so.
Maybe we need to go to more so you can
Yeah,
learn
there
some
you go.
moves. Do you guys ever worry about the potential for stalkers with us being on full display at times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
I mean,
you do.
I've bought you 3 cans of mace. You only had one opportunity to use it and you ran, which is questionably is questionably the better move.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
first thing you should do.
Yeah,
So,
you should run first. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I didn't worry about that until I saw that question. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should be worried about this now. At
Well,
least
you
for
said
me.
you worry more about us in the studio.
Well, that's true too. Like, I do think you guys have like a very pro women space. And I think that like there are weird people out there that like feel very threatened by that. And that is like scarier to me than somebody stalking Anna on her way home or anything like that.
Yeah, I know. I get worried about that stuff sometimes. I mean, you know, I worry about those
I know.
things.
I worry about it, but I feel like I just have to like push it to the side because it's like
What can
I
you
don't know.
do?
Yeah, you have to like live
besides
your life.
Having the
You
mace.
can get a
and-
ring camera. You can go to self-defense classes. You can, have more security on your door.
Okay, I actually do agree with those things.
Yeah,
I
we
think
should
those are
get a
good
ring
things
camera.
to do.
Yeah, ring camera would be good.
Yeah, and I actually do want to go to self-defense classes. Like, I don't know why I still haven't done it yet in my life.
We could do that as a team bonding thing.
I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really fun.
Be empowering.
Yeah.
Just to feel like you can just like punch some guy in the nuts.
You just need one move. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just master one move.
I know that you're supposed to go for the eyeballs, like fingers to the eyeballs. I know that.
Eyes, throat, nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts first.
Nuts
You gotta really
first.
hit him where it hurts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Get him down.
Or their
Yeah.
knee.
Knee.
The side
Back
of
of the knee.
Side or back, yeah.
Interesting.
Just to get them to
kick.
buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the classes would be good though, because they'll show you what to do if someone puts you in a headlock and their arms around you and they're behind
Yeah,
you
probably.
and stuff like that. Okay. Self-defense classes coming soon.
What a light topic.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions for us that you want to ask us?
No, I have off pod questions. I asked Anna one last week and she's like, I hate that question. Do not.
We did get someone who asked, what are your tips for how to be a supportive king?
That's such a broad question. I feel like I couldn't be supportive if I wasn't like, not that I'm like super confident in myself, but like I'm able to like deal with my own jealousy or like BS that like I feel and my feelings. So if you want to be a better supportive king, self-work and doing stuff on yourself can only better your relationship and make yourself like more present and available to that person. And then those things like come easier. I feel like when it's like a task where it's like, oh, I need to do this like thing to be more supportive. I need to say this thing every day. It's like, I'm just not going to get there every day. There's just no way to like try to like work that in all the time. But like if I'm feeling good about myself and I feel okay with who I am, like those positive emotions are like going to come out more. And
I feel like the fact that you guys have both done therapy has taken you really far.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was going to say, like, I think the two things that, like, have helped me the most in some ways, like, my parents getting divorced and seeing kind of, I think, different relationship dynamics that I recognized I didn't want. And then two, you know, they forced me to, like, do therapy at the time, which, like, at the time was just very annoying. But now, like, I've realized, oh, it's giving me language to, like, talk about my feelings and, like, language to, like, understand when it's an issue that's about me or whatever. And so I think, like, from my perspective, it's always been I wanted to be in a very equal relationship, and I wanted it to be a relationship where both Anne and I got to choose to be together every day. And I think sometimes when finances aren't equal, I mean, like, they're never, like, fully equal, but, like, when somebody's, like, not independent, doesn't have their own career, doesn't have their own life going on, it creates, like, kind of a negative codependence that you don't really want in a relationship. And so I think that, you know, Anne and I are both just very independent people that want to see the best for each other. And then it, like, to your point, it comes naturally after that, right? Like, you're comfortable with yourself and you're really just supporting your best friend. That's kind of how I see it.
I love that. I think everybody needs to go to therapy. It'll make you a better partner.
I think there's also this thing with relationships too, where it's like if you're like in a relationship where someone's like not being supportive or you have like a very jealous dynamic or like whatever, it's like everyone makes trade-offs in their relationship, right? And every person that we know has like a different relationship, right? And you like pick the person you want to be with and the kind of things that you love and don't love and the kind of relationship you want. But it's like, I just think that you have to like evaluate like what trade-offs you're willing to make, right? Because I think for some people it's like they're fine having like a really jealous partner, or they're fine having an unsupportive partner because they have like other things that they like or whatever. And it's, for me, it would be like a deal breaker. Like I just could not be in a relationship like that. But I mean, like, to each their own. Like it's like, if at the end of the day, if that's like something that's like truly like upsetting you, like it's probably not a relationship that you need to be in, because I wouldn't stay in it. Like if that wasn't our dynamic, like we wouldn't be together.
No,
you know,
not at all.
Yeah, I feel like if you're in that, like, and you feel like you have to figure out a way to change them to be supportive, like, I guess more power to you for trying, but also, like, there are people out there who may be able to give that to you without being trained to do it.
Yeah.
I've like had friends who've been like going through like difficult periods of their relationship, like ask questions, and I always feel like kind of at a loss because, like, frankly, Anne and I've like always been pretty smooth. Like, doesn't mean there aren't like issues that come up, but for the most part, we're pretty aligned on the major things. Like, we just communicate, and like that's kind of like the key to all of our stuff is like we always joke like every fight's about communication. At like some point we miscommunicated, at some point somebody didn't communicate their needs, and like it's just always getting better at that. And I don't know how to like fix that if that's broken at like a fundamental level.
Yeah.
I would agree, but I also think that always gonna like play devil's advocate here, and you know, people go through relationships, and like I know a few people like in bad relationships right now, or like they seem bad, or maybe they just bring up all of the bad things about that person, and like I feel like I've been there as well, and I've not learned from it and done the same thing again. So I think there's room for like, okay, you're in a bad relationship, like why is it a bad relationship? Or if you get out of a bad relationship, like what about it made you stay? And then what about it do you want to like change or do differently next time? Else you're going to get like the same result that you had.
Yeah, and just like seeking the same type of person or the same dynamic that's like toxic.
Yeah,
or whatever.
totally.
Yeah.
Or like it
Yeah.
just didn't work out. It's like doing the same thing over and expecting different results. It's like, why not try something different and see how that goes?
Yeah.
Because most people don't, you know, they're like, oh, this person, you know, likes to read all the time and isn't into the same stuff as me. And like, it'll never work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was a reference to Taylor. It's like, she reads a lot and I don't. Like, I like playing computer games or whatever. It's like different, but it's like, if I would have based our relationship or like wanting to get a relationship off of that and be like, oh no, that's a red flag. Like, I wouldn't be good for her. She wouldn't be good for me. Like, we wouldn't have ended up together.
I feel like Colin and I are like proof that like opposites truly can attract, and like also like we have like completely different interests, and like I always thought that like you need to be like aligned on those things, and like obviously we have some things that we're both interested in, but like we also have some things that like neither person is like. I like to joke that he can't read, and
Funny.
it's like
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
completely fine
It's
to
not
have.
belittling at all.
Illiteracy's a joke here, apparently.
Okay.
But like,
Not to cut this out because
Yeah.
you're gonna get me fucking canceled.
you guys are like aligned on the important
Yeah,
things though,
yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. It's like you can have different interests, you can whatever, but it's like if the very fundamental things that matter to you are things that are different from the very fundamental things that matter to
Yeah.
your partner, like that likely is not a good partnership.
Yeah, like if you're like, okay, I have this like big dream for myself and I really want to be with someone who supports me and I want to be able to grow together, and like you're with someone who like all they care about is like family and they don't care about like, you know, success or career growth
Yeah.
or any of that, like that might be a problem.
Yeah,
Even if you both like the same fucking movies.
exactly.
Okay, now that brings up a whole nother thing where it's
Tell
like,
us.
this is how I kind of picked, you know, who Taylor was before knowing her. You know, doing self-reflection and self-work in the program I was in, I had somebody kind of show me like figure out what my ideals were. And like he had me do a lot of work on like, what are my ideals? And like went back to him all the time. Shout out Seattle Mike. And he had me do it all the time. And I was like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he, you know, shared he showed me like, what do you like this? Do you not like this? Like, what about this do you like? And really create a list of like ideas of like, what would be the perfect partner? And I've shared this with you, but like, I like pulled up my ideals like some years later, and it was like, you met all of the ideals except for like, it was like a brunette or something like that.
Okay.
Which you kind of, you are a brunette, like technically you dye your hair or whatever. So it's not really a miss, but it was just funny that like, that's how it kind of ended up. Like I made these ideals. I was like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And then we got together, and then it was like, oh, like this person kind of meets my ideals. And then it ended up working out. And then looking back, like, oh, maybe that's why we ended up like,
Yeah.
maybe that's why it worked out. And I didn't just like, you know, go with my head of like, oh, this person's hot, I'm going to date them.
So Taylor's your dream girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is like a very common thing in like 12-step recovery is to make an ideals list. And like, I think it's really helpful when you're in like a bad situation too, because then it's like you have this list that you made before you were in the toxic relationship, and you can't like justify, you know, that this relation, I don't know. I think it's good to have that, like regardless of where you're at, like just write those things down. And then if you're in something and you're not sure, it's like a good place to kind of like look and compare and think about like, okay, is this meeting the things that I really value? We are relationship advice therapists now, guys.
Yes, this podcast changes every week, and this week it is relationship advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we do our obsessions?
Let's do our obsessions.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go first?
I don't even know what this is.
Colin!
You
I'm
told
just
me
kidding.
you had one before this.
You're like, something you're obsessed with over the past week?
Yeah.
Just week.
or
It doesn't
month,
have to
it's
be. I
fine.
mean, nobody knows how long you've been obsessed with
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Something you think the posse needs to know about.
Okay. Am I starting?
Yeah.
No, I want to go last. Go ahead.
Okay, so now that the weather's getting a little bit better, one of my favorite like shirt brands, and Anna steals these shirts from me and has like bought her own, is Portuguese flannel. They do make flannels in like fall winter, but like in the summer they make like linen shirts and like printed shirts that are just like very well done, and they're like not crazy expensive. And they also like are sustainable and all of that fun stuff. So that's like the one I really like, and yeah, Anna can attest to their
Yeah,
greatness.
I get their large button ups, and I wear them like just as like a shirt jacket all summer, and I love them.
I'm gonna have to check these out.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm
No,
not.
you're
Because I'm
not.
not shopping.
Yeah,
Maybe in a few months. I really loved your shirt that Anna was wearing the other day. It was like
Oh,
a floral
at the
place.
flower
Oh, yeah, from Hermano Flower Shop in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout
them.
out. Yeah.
We love them.
Their design, their like typography on those shirts is so cute. I loved
Have you
it.
looked at their site?
No.
All of their stuff is really, really good. And apparently, like, they're right next to this, like, natural wine bar. And, like, all of the designs done for both of them are done by, like, this, like, ex-skater. And I don't know why ex-skaters are always fantastic at graphic design. But, like, they truly are.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they all have, like, really, really good merch.
Yeah.
It inspired me. Like, I feel like I want our merch to look like this flower shop's
Right.
merch.
Maybe we can work with their designer.
Yeah.
And their embroidery person that I know.
They do really cool embroidery stuff too. It's
Oh.
really cute. I
Yeah.
love embroidery like on shirts. I think it'd be so cute to have like little naked peach embroidery.
That would be so
Like,
cute. Yeah.
So cute.
Oh, one of the girls at our flower workshop had a pair of Converse with flowers embroidered on them, and they were so cute. And I looked this up on Etsy, and there's like lots of different people who will do like custom designs for you, but I just think like a little touch of embroidery on like a basic thing like that is so
Oh, yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Colin, are you ready, or do you want us to go first and come back to you?
Oh, that's fine. I can go. So, I've been obsessed with a K-pop song called Cupid by 50/50. Not really into K-pop that much, but really enjoy the song. Found out some background information about them, and it's like there's this whole K-pop world where it's like these large companies are the ones who put out the popular songs, and you like can't, be an individual label. Like if you're going to be popular, you have to be one of these groups. And what I've heard is like they're pretty brutal on the performers, where they do lots of tours, like the people get really tired, the performers, and then they don't do as many shows, and people really love the music. This one, it's like this small group where like the manager, whoever like sold his car to like pay for production to like do this one song, and now this song's blowing up on like TikTok and stuff, and it's like it makes you feel, I guess, better, or it's like, okay, this is like, an independent person, actual good song that came out. It wasn't just like created by like this large mega corporation to like please our ears.
Yeah.
And that happens every once in a while. And then the other one is my friend's clothing brand, which is funny you brought up a clothing brand, but they just released their website, and they've been doing lots of like t-shirts throughout the years, but they kind of like joined all them together into like one website where they have like their different brands, but all the t-shirts are like different. So there's like 6 or 7 brands, and all of the styles are different for every like company. So it feels like you're shopping at like 7 different companies or so. But there's some really cool stuff there. So
What's the brand?
What's the brand?
hellatightmedia.art.
Hella Tight Media.
hellatightmedia.art.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'll
check them
it
out. There's some cool shirts on there, and some stuff, and they're just getting started. So they release a lot of unique designs, I think, with what really drew me in. They are graphic, but they have hoodies and stuff like that. But I know there's some good stuff there that I really like.
I can go. Mine's very fast. So last week I talked about my new cookbook that I
Yes.
love. Last night we made the orange chicken. So it's called Better Than Takeout Orange Chicken, whatever. Orange chicken, rice, and some broccoli. I sent you a photo. It was so good. It was like, there's nothing bad in it. All the ingredients are like good ingredients. It's like, this thing was delicious.
You're being very nice in saying that we made it. I squeezed a little bit of orange juice.
Okay, I made it. It was
Yeah.
really bomb. Sophia loved it. I loved it. Gavin loved it. I want to start having this like every week.
Wow.
It was delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try this.
Yeah.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So I've seen, like, I go on YouTube, consume a lot of like random cooking content and that type of stuff. I heard that a lot of restaurants that do like stir fry and stuff like that, they put like baking soda like on their chicken, but because for some reason it like crisps up better.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I think I found the secret to like why takeout is so good is like baking soda on the chicken so that it crisps up, and butter and sugar. So
Does yours have
I didn't
that?
know if yours had it. I wanted to ask like what about it makes it so special.
Well, I think like the flavor. I just thought the flavor was super good. So it wasn't like extra crispy. So maybe next time I need to try the baking soda. And they didn't use sugar, but she used a little honey in it, and that was really good.
Well, and I think like a lot of times with stir fry, it's like typically really high heat, and we don't really cook with super high heat in our place because it's a condo, and like sometimes airing it out can be pretty challenging.
Yeah.
But I think that can help with the crispiness too.
Yeah, ours wasn't crispy, but the flavor was grade A. So maybe take the recipe and make it extra crispy, and then let me know.
I'm just
Yeah.
always searching. So
We
I
can workshop it.
Yes.
Yes.
It was just my first time making it. So, I'm not a pro yet, but I can say the cookbook's great and I want to keep trying things out of it.
Okay. Yeah, we need to try that recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, my obsession is a new eyeliner that I got. So for a long time I bought all my makeup at Sephora. And, I'm on my budgeting journey, and I bought some drugstore eyeliner the other day because I'd ran out of the Makeup Forever eye pencil that I always use. And this stuff I feel like is working better than the Makeup Forever did. Like, it is not transferring to my lower eyelid.
Are you
like,
wearing it right now?
Yeah.
It looks great.
And I'm not getting like the raccoon eyes that I
Yeah.
feel like I get sometimes. It's like a waterproof liner. I don't remember the name of the brand.
We'll link it.
But we will link it. I think it might be L'Oreal, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's like it lasts all day. It's really easy to put on, and it was like $5, and it's better than the $25 one I'd been buying at Sephora.
I love that.
I know. I feel like the vibe of Sephora, just how like shiny and pretty and expensive everything feels, like really sucks me in. And like there's something about buying drugstore makeup where I'm just like, this is depressing.
It's not the same experience.
It's not the same experience, yeah. But like all of those companies are owned by one company. Like it's all the
factory.
same shit.
It's all the same
Yeah.
factory, and then it's all marketing. It's just a
It's- yeah,
marketing
it's
game.
just-
It's the same product,
New
different
bottle.
marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, different bottle, different like, ads in the magazines, but like the products are the same. So
Yeah.
Just order it online next time. That way you don't have to have the drugstore experience.
yes.
Yeah.
I did go to Target, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like a
Okay.
Rite Aid.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so usually we end this part asking where the posse can find you. I don't think Colin wants to be found. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Gavin, where can people find you?
Yeah. Do you want the posse to engage with you?
You just skipped over me.
Well, do you want people to find you?
I mean, I am on Instagram. And
Are
You have not posted in about 7 years.
I have it. So if they really
Do you
need
check it?
If they yeah,
Oh,
I mean
okay.
like I don't really check it for like messages, but I'll see a message. Like
No, I didn't even know you had an Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Should I follow him?
I purposely don't tag him because I don't want people to follow him
Okay.
and put more information to. I'm so paranoid. I don't want people to know his last name and
Yeah.
find him and then connect him to me
Yeah.
and then know my full name and then be able to look up our address. So
I mean, there's ways to find that
Quite the-
people
Okay.
will find. But I'm just saying, if they're dying to ask me a question or to talk shit to me, they can find me on Instagram. That's fine.
what's your name on Instagram?
The CMAZ, THECMAZ. One
Is
word.
it still that? I thought you changed it to Greens Beans TV or something
I don't
like
know.
that.
Move along. I'll come back to me.
Okay, you gave me a look like I'm crazy when I was saying that about people finding our address. But do you know the backstory of when I started getting freaked out about people knowing my full name?
No.
Okay, there was this time where I got a text from someone who was pretending to be one of our clients asking me for a pair of shoes. And it was like they had my personal phone number and they knew the name of one of our clients and they knew that client had just done a shoe. And it was just like really weird. Like they just knew too much.
Okay.
And then I think I was telling Anji about it, and she told me that you can find people's names and phone numbers by just having their full name. You can just type it into Google and find their addresses and
Yeah.
their phone numbers.
Yeah.
And so then I started getting really freaked out about someone coming to my house, and I was like, I'm not letting people know my full name anymore.
I think that's totally fair, and I did not mean to look at you like you were crazy. There is a lot of information out there. I think, like, for me, and even, like, going back to the question earlier about, like, stalkers and like just
Yeah.
kind of, worrying about all of that stuff. I just kind of choose to not worry about those things like actively because I just feel like I can't do anything about it. I have very, very limited control. And so worrying about that just is a waste of energy for me. But that's just been how I've thought about it.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I also haven't had a situation like that where I felt like, wow, this is really strange. And somebody knows like more about me than I would like them to.
Yeah.
Having said that, you can find me at Gavin Taggart on Instagram.
Gavin's like, please DM me. Let's chat about all my hot takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. You can see my stories where I talk shit about sneaker releases. I give my political opinions.
And you post cute candids of Anna.
From time to time, I do take lots of pictures of Anna, and I post pictures of Anna all of the time. There was an accusation recently that I don't take many pictures of Anna, and I specifically didn't take many pictures of Anna on a recent beach birthday vacation where I actually have many pictures of her on my phone, and I will share the receipts.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to see those.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, you can find us at Naked Beach Boudoir.
And peach.posse on Instagram for all of our podcast content and the fire memes that Allison has been making that are roasting me and Anna, and Peach Posse on TikTok. You can find me at tsmells with a Z.
You can find me at Anna McLaughlin Photo.
Colin, did you figure out your Instagram name?
You're totally right. I changed my name, so we'll drop a link if anyone's dying to contact me. We'll get you connected if you really need to talk to me.
DM Taylor, and then Taylor will send you Colin's
Sure.
account if
Yeah.
you're dying to DM Colin.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
joining us.
Thank you guys
We
for
Loved
appreciate
being here.
you guys.
You're great hosts.
Thank you.
I was expecting this episode to fully be just like 100% us being roasted, and I feel like you guys actually really like stepped it up with all the wisdom that you had to offer. So I'm impressed.
And you said some really sweet things.
yeah.
I think it was really the questions from your viewers that made it, because
I want to do another episode where we get to seed the questions.
You want to ask us questions?
Yeah, ask back.
Ask-
Ask back. But like, are you going to be asking the same type of questions we just asked, or what are the types of questions?
we can think of a lot of questions.
Like you're asking us questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're like hosting the
From our group of friends.
Okay, so
Okay.
you guys are just going to write your own questions and interview us.
No, we're going to get them from the community.
Oh, the posse. The posse is going to send you questions to ask
Yeah.
us.
It's going to be a
All
long
of your new followers that
Yeah.
you get from this podcast.
It's going to be a long game of would you rather. Going to give you two situations. They both suck. And you have to pick which one.
Okay,
Can't wait.
well, posse, stay tuned for that episode. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.